Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
A couple of notes. We'll start with the who's eligible and who's not. Right now, Trinidad Chambliss is eligible at Ole Miss, but Joey Aguilar at Tennessee is not. And then the Charles Badiako story, the final ruling came down on him today to play at Alabama. No, the answer is going to be no. Okay, so I want to start there because one thing that has become obvious, and it's something that there was time to prepare for, which again is a failure by the NCAA, is the NCAA rules have not caught up with the money. Simple as that. NCAA rules have not caught up with the money.
And they should have been more prepared. Yeah, absolutely. No question.
And they had all the time in the world to prepare for it. They
absolutely
did.
Agree.
And they did nothing. Now, they did set up a clearinghouse on NIL. Okay, so that was done. So I shouldn't say nothing, but they didn't do as much as they should have done. They tried to set up cap numbers and so forth. What they need to do is this. I have never been a proponent, never have been a proponent for a player entering the draft, not liking their draft position, and then wanting to go back to school, or going into the draft not being drafted and not being able to go back to school. To me, you made your decision. I'm sorry, that's the way things go. In other words, right, if I sit here tomorrow and I say, hey, I'm not going to be working this podcast, I'm done. Yeah. I'm going on something else, even though I don't know what it's going to be. And then I go through the process, and 6 weeks later, I still don't have a job. I come back, I say, can I come back? They say, we already filled your position. Okay, that's called real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's called real life. But I've changed a bit on this, and here's the reason why. Players go through the draft process, and the NBA draft process, above all, gives more leeway than any other process to pull your name out. You can pull your name out 3 weeks before the draft, as opposed to what we're seeing in the NFL. You're going to the combine this week. Okay, guess what? Right? When you declare for the draft, you're in. Okay,
yeah.
There is
absolutely.
It is 1 week after the national championship game is the last day you can pull your name out of the NFL draft. You put your name in, you can pull it out, but it's only a week after the national title game. You haven't gone through any draft process. You haven't played in a Senior Bowl. You haven't gone to a combine. You haven't gone to a pro day. You haven't worked out individually for team. You haven't done any of that.
Yeah.
As opposed to the NBA, where you've got the G League Elite Combine, you have the NBA Combine for the top 64 players, right? Then you have individual workouts with teams, and then 3 weeks before you make a decision as to whether you're in or out. Okay. Where I've evolved is this, and it's an NCAA rule now that has allowed me to give some leeway here. I go undrafted. I don't like where I'm drafted. I have until July 1 to declare whether I'm going back to school or not after the draft process. Why? Because now we have 15 scholarships in men's basketball. Most schools only use 13, 12 or 13. College football is the same way. College football now allows 105 as opposed to 85. You're not really taking somebody else's scholarship in reality, because let's take the SEC, for example. The SEC wants it at 85 because that allows them to give more money to 85 players as opposed to spreading it out over 105 players. It's, again, we go back to the slices of the pie. Keep doing that all the time. Keep talking about the slices of pie. I know you don't expand unless the part you bring in can actually give everybody else more money. All right. And that's, well, now with football at 105, and I'm not so sure everybody's giving out 105 scholarships.
No, absolutely not.
Right. They are not doing that. In basketball, most schools are still just giving out 12 or 13 scholarships. They're not giving out 15. I have a player, though, that goes into the draft, doesn't get drafted in the process. What date's the draft this year? June 25, 6?
Yeah.
Right around there? I mean, I would start with that. If you don't like you don't like where you're drafted, I'm going back to school. All right? If I'm undrafted, I can elect to go back to school. Now, you're also a free agent. You go anywhere you want. You're not necessarily going to go back to the school that you left. You can go anywhere you want. But most schools are carrying only 13 scholarships anyway, and they're allowed to carry 15. Right? If you feel like you want to take on a 14th scholarship because it can help you, sure. Now, Badiako would not be in that category. Because Badiako, he was given bad advice. Everybody knew at the time he was given bad advice. Everybody knew. Everybody knew he was a G League player.
Uh-huh.
Everybody knew except for him and whomever advises him.
Whomever advises him that persuades him.
Did you get the date on
25th, 26th.
25th,
yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, 26th is round 2 is the 26th.
Again, you doubt me.
Didn't doubt you at all. I had no idea when it was. I knew it was the end of June, but I didn't know the actual date.
I mean, you haven't had time to schedule a haircut. How are you going to figure this out? No,
May 10th is the draft lottery.
Oh, I thought May 10th was when you're getting a haircut.
No, I can't wait that long.
All right, but I would do that.
Yeah.
I also think that maybe in the NFL, I got till May 1. I go undrafted, whatever, I've got eligibility left. I may allow them to come back because, again, you're now at 105.
Yeah.
You're not at 85. You're at 105 now. You're not at 13 anymore. You're at 15.
Yeah.
I would open that door and see how it works out. Now, again, you're going to be a player that goes into the draft, you go undrafted, the heck with it. Even though I would prefer them to say yes or no before 3 weeks before. I mean, you got to have some common sense as to as to where you stand. I mean, you go to the combine, you're like, I'm not as good as these guys. Or you're already getting advice from your agent anyway. Let's take Oway, okay? Let's take Oway of Kentucky, Jason's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes through the draft process and realizes he can make more money at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Anybody who's bound for the G League, it's an easy choice as to what you do.
No doubt.
Because the G League,
especially now,
the G League average salary is $35,000.
Yeah.
People don't realize that's what it is. The average. Okay, I think it's a bottom number, but
it's a bottom. A lot of guys are.
It's a $35,000.
Most guys are early six figures.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Early meaning 100,000, not 500. Those are the premier two-way guys.
The two-way guys.
Yes.
But every team only has two-way guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There are only 60 of the players that can be two-way players in the entire NBA. Okay? That's like only good enough for 4 teams. So And when it comes to collective bargaining, I'm all for collective bargaining. I've been talking about it over and over again. Here's the problem. Why would the players want collective bargaining?
They don't. No, yeah, they're absolutely not going to. And especially at this point now, they don't really, players aren't going to care about stability.
Right.
But
this is what you do. You put in as the NCAA hard and fast rules that get them to the table.
Which should have been there from day one. You should have been there from the beginning. And
you put them in now. In other words.
No, well, yeah, you have to. Right. At some point, you have to.
It's sit there. Rule. Hey, people want to challenge them in court? Fine.
Go for it.
And just say, hey, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care.
Yeah.
But these are the rules.
Yeah.
Right? Here are the transfer rules. Bang, bang, bang. Mm-hmm. Done. Okay? Here are the rules on cap money. Done. Here are the rules, in other words, put rules on the table that make them come to the table and say, yo, wait a minute. We need to talk here.
Yeah.
Right? You have to force them to get to a table to talk. Thus, you need to put in rules.
Yeah.
Right? Because all these individuals just doing their little individual deals going to court, Diego Pavia, I played in junior college. Well, guess what? No offense to the judge in the case and to Diego, you went to college.
Yeah.
And you played.
And then you played. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, you played. I'm sorry, but you played.
Absolutely.
Okay. You're older than Patrick Mahomes. Let's go. He's not. He's not, but that's just a joke. I'll never forget the quarterback for Wisconsin, 1995, was actually 2 years older than Drew Bledsoe. Well, no, and the reason why, because he had gone on a Mormon mission.
Okay.
And so...
Oh, Winky was how old at Florida State?
He was 29.
Yeah, he was in his 20s.
29, won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Right? So...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... You have to force them through rules. And you can have... you can challenge it all you want. These are the rules.
Yeah,
this is our organization. Wow. This is how we play. The eligibility rules and so on and so forth. Now, for Nate Oates, his argument on Badiako, which by the way is not a bad argument, is about the European players who have received money overseas and now are allowed to play in college basketball. He's not wrong about that.
He's not wrong. No.
He's not wrong about that. But none of them played college basketball and left for a pro job.
Yep.
Which is what Badiako did. Badiako, I made a choice. I'm done. I'm moving to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, what's to keep some college freshman not liking his situation and going back to high school? You're not allowed to do that.
Right.
But college pro, you're allowed to do that. What? Why? And NIL is allowed for high school athletes in certain states.
Well, Pennsylvania's about to be one.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no doubt, I think, when you look at the draft today to the draft a decade ago, I think there's big differences. First and foremost, you talk about agents. Hey, years ago, you hired an agent, you were done. You had, that was it. You were out of the draft, or you were, out of school, and you weren't going back because you hired the agent, and at that point, you are legal to go to the pros. And but the other part of it is the one thing that hasn't changed. Obviously, the money has certainly changed. You always want to listen as a player to those that know you the most,
right?
And that isn't only your coach; that's your parents as well. I get it, but the people that have been around you are the ones who should be in your ear the most, not the ones looking for the cut of your salary. That I think is the hardest part for so many of these players, and that's been the case long before NIL. And these agents get in these players' ears, telling them you're going to be a first-round pick, when in reality you're not even going to be drafted in the NFL in the fourth round. In the NBA, late second round. If you're lucky, you may go undrafted.
Right.
But these agents are getting in your ear, telling you the exact opposite. You have to know, and you said it, you have to look at the combine and say, hey, am I better than this guy? And there's no doubt you have to use your own common sense, but you also got to listen to the people that know you the most. And the person that you hired to run your bank account that you don't necessarily know very well just yet is not the guy to tell you those things.
A sister of a Penn State player asked me, actually in open class, this is when I was still teaching, about how do you go about selecting an agent? Who do you know is good?
Yeah.
And I said, well, you're lucky you're at Penn State because there is a network already set up where if I want to know about an agent, I can call a Micah Parsons. I can call a Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
I can talk to people who have agents that have helped them, as opposed to Johnny Fly-by-Night, who could really care less about, right, you're a means to an end.
Yes.
No, go in the draft because they want their
they want their cut.
They want their 3%.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I want it now. So are they giving you the best advice for you, or are they giving the best advice that opens the door for them to get some money into their bank account?
Exactly.
That's the issue.
And I think agents, to me, I have always said the point where, for the most part years ago, nowadays they can't stay out of the spotlight, but an athletic director, I've always said the best ones are the ones you don't know about. Because they're under the radar and letting coaches do their job, letting university presidents, etc., do their job. But to me, the agents, it's the exact opposite. The ones that aren't popular are because they're darn good at their job.
Yeah,
that's I think where you're looking at with agents. The people that are the unpopular ones are the ones that are able to successfully negotiate your deals.
All right, now let's talk about one of the adults in the room, Jeff Monken, the head football coach at Army. Right now, the Army-Navy game takes place 1 week after the
Heisman Trophy Day.
It takes place 1 week after the conference championship games. We all know what Tony Petitti has proposed about the 2014 playoff and eliminating college football playoff games. Championship games, championship games. Monken came out this week and said, you know what, Army-Navy, you know what? We need to move that to Thanksgiving weekend. Let's get it out of there. So, for example, Army or Navy, right, they can be a group of 6 team. He said, let's move it to Thanksgiving weekend. Either play it on Thanksgiving Day, play it on Friday, play it on Saturday, but he thinks it should be played on that weekend. He said, college football, he says, goes too deep into the year, and he says, we're part of the reason why it goes deep into the year because that weekend is not open.
Yeah, I think it's almost selfishly as a fan, you're looking at it, you want that game to be where it is right now because you have that game kind of sticks out, stands alone for the most part that day, and it really shows and showcases what is one of the great rivalries in sports and just one of the great historical moments in sports.
It is.
But
yeah. But I want to, if you're going to do this, do you put it in a time slot on a Friday night of Thanksgiving?
You got to put it by itself,
right?
Somehow.
Where it stands alone.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you do that and it stands alone, this works.
Which I don't know if you can do because I don't think they're gonna kick out Georgia Tech. I don't think they're gonna kick out Texas A&M. I don't think they're gonna kick out.
Yeah, but they can play on Thanksgiving Day. I mean, they
can.
They do play on Thanksgiving. They can play during the day too.
Yeah.
Who's not to say that on Thanksgiving Friday, Black Friday at noon, Army's playing Navy? Who's not saying on Saturday? Okay, Saturday, you know, obviously Ohio State, Michigan's going to be the game at noon.
Sure.
You know that. But who's to say on Friday at noon these two teams don't play?
Or Friday night
because right now, when they play this game, it is already after the college football playoff has selected teams.
Absolutely.
And
he makes a great point. I agree entirely.
Okay?
Yeah.
So in other words, that frees up that weekend to play playoff games.
That's true.
Because if you go through, let's just say Tony's idea 24 goes through, which, by the way, is not a foreign concept.
No.
FCS has 24.
Has had it and made it successful.
Right. FCS has 24, and they've had 24 for a few years now. So it's not a foreign concept.
Right.
By eliminating conference championship games, you now have 2 weekends in a row where you're free to play. You're free to play. And if you want to play the quarterfinals after that and then have the semifinals be on New Year's Day with a championship game earlier, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
by moving this one game and by eliminating the conference championship games, you free up valuable playoff weekends. You free up 2 of them right away. The first weekend in December and the second weekend in December. Because right now, the first weekend in December are conference championship games, and the second weekend in December is Army-Navy. And he says, give us a 4-hour block on Thanksgiving or on Friday of Thanksgiving or on Saturday of Thanksgiving. And
not
give
on
us
Saturday.
a 4-hour.
It's got to be one of those 2 before.
Right? And give us, I'm just quoting him here. And give us a 4-hour block and just say nobody else plays during this 4-hour block. Yeah. That's still protecting the game. Well, you could do that.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
Even on Saturday. You give them 3:30. Nope, give them 3:30.
You can, but you're going to still have a lot of games, and you're going to have a lot of games competing with it. I think you have a better chance Thursday or Friday.
They would get exclusivity because
they would, but
the president's already stepped in and said they get exclusivity.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're still going to have conference games that day where everybody is fighting for that last potential playoff spot. You're going to have games of significant meaning. That's why I think Thursday, Friday makes more sense. I absolutely agree. I think just from a fan's perspective, you're looking at it, you want that game to be where it is just because, again, there's no – if you don't expand the playoffs,
but no offense,
there's no
it's in
game.
the way.
It's completely in the way. Absolutely in the way.
His proposal
there's no doubt.
And again, he's one of the participants.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Okay, this is not coming from the coach at Alabama. This is not coming from Kalen DeBoer. This is one of the participants in the game.
No,
saying we need to move it out of there.
I agree 100% with his take.
Because look, it gives both Army and Navy a better shot at making the playoff.
Absolutely.
Right, for one thing to get there. Give them a 4-hour block on Friday.
Yeah, I think
Put it at
3:30
on a Friday afternoon.
I think Black Friday is probably your spot. Because
I already know the NFL has their...
I was going to say, you're not going to be able to compete with the NFL.
What? But that game is on streaming.
That's where...
That game is on streaming. That's not... Okay, the Friday
8 o'clock game.
The Friday
night game on streaming.
The Friday afternoon
the Black
game,
Friday, that is on streaming.
The Black Friday afternoon game is a streaming game.
Yeah, that's why you make it Friday. Yeah, thanks. My point is Thanksgiving Thursday you can't because
I'd make it. I would make it a Friday at noon.
I think a Friday at noon or prime time. One of the two.
Iowa, Nebraska want to play at 3:30. Great. You want to have the Egg Bowl? That great. Okay, you got all those hours afterward to play those games to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, there's usually a college football game on Thanksgiving night anyway for somebody. A game.
Egg Bowl usually. Yep.
Right? And then. Play that game at noon on Friday. Noon. That's your time. Noon. Give them a block there. 11 o'clock. Okay, to do your pregame, whatever you want to do. Game day. Blah blah blah. Who cares? I don't care what game day does. And then you play the game.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what? Who are you interfering with at that point? I mean, are you interfering with Georgia Tech? That game's at night.
Yeah.
Okay. Nebraska, Iowa. Play the game at 3:30.
Yeah.
Play the game at 3:30. Hey, it does. It's like you're still playing on Black Friday, right? And which is 2:30 out there,
right?
So it's 2:30 in the afternoon. It's a great time for them to go to a game. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. The vast majority of that game is in daylight.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
I'd go Black Friday at noon.
I think Black Friday at some point. Yeah, noon is the best case. Noon is where it makes the most sense for me. You want to put it in prime time? Has that game ever been in prime time? Not in recent memory, at least.
No,
not in the last several years. So yeah, you want to put it in prime time? Go for it there too. That's as long as it has its own spot where it can showcase what it is, and that is just a. That's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the way it should be. And I think that's the there's a lot of hated rivalries. Obviously, Ohio State and Michigan don't like each other. I think that's pretty well documented. But Army and Navy, to me, the amount of respect that is between the two, at what they are playing for, what they have to do outside of football to make this country better, it needs a standalone spot without question. Whether it's noon, whether it's prime time,
play it again.
You got to play it on its own in a standalone spot. Nobody can compete with it.
Black Friday at noon.
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. As long as it has its own spot, I'm fine with it.
And then go from there.
Yeah. Because I think at some point, whether it may not be the next year, the next 2 years, I think at some point the playoff will expand. And you're right. I think that's a spot where you're going to need that week to have it. And not to mention, the other point you made, which is absolutely right, is this gives them a better chance to get into the playoff.
Yeah. I give them credit for looking at the expanded playoff and saying the potential expansion of the playoff, because they haven't expanded it.
No, it's this stay put now at the moment.
And
believe that those wondering the schedule, I think they did move that game from New Year's Eve. I think it's the 30th this year.
It is the 30th because the 31st is a Thursday night.
Thursday night,
and
NFL.
And NFL Thursday Night Football on Prime. They don't want to go head-to-head with that. So that one game is the 30th this year.
And then the first is the next one. Next one.
So that's what they're going to do. They're going to play that game on a Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. The single game.
Yeah, the single game. Yep. The other games are all still New Year's Day.
Guess what? You get extra time before the semifinals.
So.
There's nothing wrong.
You could put that game at 8 o'clock if you had to, too. With it being a Wednesday night. I think they moved
it is going to be a Wednesday night.
But you could put it at 8 o'clock if you wanted to.
Sure.
You could literally, you don't have to have it at 7:30. You don't have to rush it. Because you go back a couple of years, Ohio State's missing that field goal as the clock strikes midnight and the ball drops. You don't want that scenario if you're college football, ideally, because you want fans to enjoy both. So, but you have Wednesday night, you have the freedom to do really whatever you want. Put it at 8:30.
Well, you don't want
it too late.
No,
because even on a Christmas night,
you don't do it at 8:30.
Or even on a week where most people are off, 8 o'clock's fine.
And when I mean 8 o'clock, kickoff at 8:04.
Yeah, not 8:24. Yes.
Right? Don't do that.
Right.
I've done these games.
Well,
so we get the sheet that tells us. We always get the sheet that tells us, "Hey, by the way, the kickoff is at." And you're like, "Okay." Right, and we usually get it like.
Well, the whiteout this year kicked off like 24 minutes after that.
I know.
Then went to overtime. So that's a spot where,
no offense. How much can you talk about the game? That
you've already have
between 7:30 and 8.
Yeah, we're in
between
an era
7 and 7:30. How much more do you need to talk about it? Just go.
Yeah, we're in an era now where people can get pregame for a week.
Right.
There's no doubt.
Well, in other words, okay, you want to start your pregame at 7 for a 7:30 kickoff. I don't mind if the kickoff is 7:34. That's one thing about BTN. You know what time the BTN kickoffs are?
They're pretty quick.
12:01.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3:31. 12:01. When they tell you it's go time for them.
That was a good part about the gold medal game. They told you 8:10. That was 8:10.
Yeah. There are also no commercials.
And that was beautiful. Never going to have a college football game with that. But it was getting the kickoff was nice.
No.
You tell Big Noon no commercials. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Jeez.
Got to pay for Gus.
And now Dave Portnoy and just about everybody else.
I'm kidding, Gus. Okay, I'm kidding, Gus.
Gus and Joel.
Right? It's just a joke.
Yes.
Right?
Jenny Taft, by the way, one of the underrated sideline reporters without question, does a spectacular job with that.
But you know who gives her a lot of credit? It's Gus.
Yeah, and he should.
He does.
Absolutely.
Gus, he makes sure everybody knows how valuable.
Mm-hmm. She is.
She is to what they do. And Joel Klatt. That's the running joke. Got to pay for Gus. It's like Gus makes $1 billion. He doesn't make $1 billion.
No,
doesn't even. He'd be sitting there going, hey. Ooh, Gavin McKenna named the first star for the Big
Nice.
Ten. Shocking.
Yeah.
Right?
Had a pretty good weekend there. Yeah.
9 million points.
Who's going to be the first to say, oh, we only scored 2 goals? 10 points.
Again.
That helps your team.
Again.
10 points.
There is
8 points in a game is exceptional.
So, Dick Girardi does a show every Saturday morning. Mike Kern and a couple of other guys are on the show with him. And Dick's great on this show because with Mike Kern, he kind of pokes the bear a little bit. Like,
nice.
Right? Like at the end, he'll say, he says, I thought we weren't going to bring up the Sixers. He just says it. And then they hadn't talked about the Sixers the entire time. And if there's a button that you push with Mike Kern, it's like the shot collar for the dog. It's like, okay. Right? And
There's
Mike
a lot of folks in Philadelphia when it comes to that team.
So Mike starts talking, and he says, and people are saying this, this, and this. And Dick says, well, you know people are saying this, this, and this. It's on social media. And Dick says straight out, he says, you actually pay attention to social media? And so you mentioned like Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. That's the social media response.
Oh, no doubt.
We only scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
Right.
No doubt.
What the heck are we drilling down there? I mean, you got here earlier than I did. Your job's to find out this stuff.
I know. They're working on something out there. Well, I came in yesterday.
That's a great assessment. That's
what I'm talking about. Working on something. I'll tell you what. You know, they always say to make sure you state the obvious. I just did. I walked into a ladder yesterday. I made sure I didn't.
An entire career.
That's right.
Spent around the obvious.
Darn right.
So
I walked into a ladder yesterday. I made sure I didn't go under it. Would have been in trouble.
Now, I appreciate people that want to give thoughtful
absolutely.
Opinions.
Sure. And you're entitled to your opinion no matter how good or bad it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But they want to give thoughtful opinions, right? Instead of being a jerk, a troll, something like that. But any of us that are in this business that have done this a long time, I'd say the vast majority of us don't pay a single rat's second.
No. Nope.
Knowing what's going on in social media.
I did not even know I had an Instagram until one of the listeners came up to me and said, hey, I found you on Instagram. I said, really? Oh, I'll be darned.
I have a Facebook account.
I have a Facebook, and I use that more than I use anything else. I don't use anything beyond that.
Do you want to know what I use on Facebook? I wish people happy birthday.
That's what I do. I do the same thing.
That's all I do.
I do the same thing.
I just wish them happy birthday. That's it.
I do the same thing.
But I have a Facebook. Why do I have a Facebook account? And I also have a Twitter account.
I have Twitter, but I don't use that
I
either.
have never once posted on.
Don't use it. Nope. I haven't posted in 20 years, 10 years.
But you want to know why I have them? Domain.
Yeah.
No, anybody could sit there and they could put together with my name a domain and post all this stuff in my name. You believe what Steve Jones said about that's why I did it, because I got advice a long time ago about how important it was to have the domain with your name on it. That way it at least blunts what I just talked about.
You talked about, yep, I agree.
But with all due respect, like for example, if you are, let's take the Blue White Illustrated guys.
Sure.
Right, we'll use them, or 247. So like Mark Brennan, Tyler Donahue, Daniel Gallen's with them, right?
Gallen is with them,
right? And the Blue White Illustrated guys, Sean Fitz, Nate Bauer. T. Frank, Ryan Snyder, Greg Pickle. Okay. They have to pay attention to it.
Sure. I agree.
Because I believe they have a rather extensive message board. So they have to take it, because those are the people they're writing for. Like, I'll go on there and I'll read the articles because I think their articles are, Mark's article or Neil or Nate or whatever, whomever, right? Just like reading a newspaper. But I don't go to the comments section.
No.
It's like, what am I going to learn there?
No.
Now, am I told things? Oh, I have people that tell me
there's
this.
plenty of people telling me things.
I was reading on, let's just pick one, Blue White Illustrated. Evidently, Mike's lost the locker room. I'm going.
Well,
and I'll stand there and go, what?
Well, that's the other part with social media. That some people believe anything that is posted.
Right. And I was like, okay, I'm at practice. I'm the only person at practice. I said, I might be the first one to have a read on whether you lost it or not. It's like, because they're always, because what happens is you get into when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
When things aren't going well.
Yep.
You have, because I get stuff relayed to me all the time by people. Hey, I was reading on here. I was like, what? The scheme's all wrong. Like, okay. All right. The players there's a lot of discontent. They lost the locker room. The coaching, the play calling, things like that. You know what all those are? They are each one of those are stereotypes and crutches.
Sure.
They're a stereotype and a crutch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I agree.
When I was teaching broadcasting, there were certain phrases people would use. And I would say, guys, stay away from the crutch.
The crutch. Yep.
Something that is a fallback for you where you go. Said you got to sit there and you need to be thinking, using your own mind.
Yes.
Right? Don't follow the crowd. Sometimes you follow the crowd because your gut tells you the crowd is right. I said, but what is incredible is how often the crowd is actually wrong.
Yeah.
And narratives, how often narratives are wrong.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
what really reinforced that to me was this going through the scandal here. How many narratives are just dead wrong about what happened here?
Well,
right? I mean, just like flat out wrong. How do I know? I know people. It's okay, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like it's wrong. And that's I never really thought too much about narratives until then. And when that happened, that changed my mind about narratives forever. Where you bake the cake and everybody looks and they go, "That's the only cake out there." No, it's I'm not going to take a bite of that cake. And so you've got to be an independent thinker and put things together in your own way.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can deliver good commentary unless you're an independent thinker and not a follow-the-pack guy.
Not a follow-the-pack guy.
Or woman. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean that there aren't moments where the pack is correct. There are. Yes. There are moments where through independent thought, you're like, yeah, you know what? That is right. Too often, the pack is wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And there's too many people that don't want to go against the pack because then you get shunned.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, used to Gavin McCann, well, he only scored 2 goals. Again, that would be a typical social media response. That's why you don't pay attention to it. And I would tell young broadcasters, and I've done this many times, I said, look, don't pay attention to what people say about you.
Yes. No.
I said, and this is pro and con.
Yeah.
In other words, if you sit there and they're critical of this and this and this and this and this, okay, right? What do you end up doing? You think about it.
You think about it. Sure.
And everybody knows who's watched my career play out, for decades and decades. You already know, I don't think. So
same here.
But you think about it. And thinking about it becomes the worst thing you can do.
Absolutely.
Right? Just go out and do.
Yeah, be yourself.
There's that line. There's that line in Top Gun Maverick, which is something that we've used anyway, but it just kind of reinforced. Don't think, just do.
Just do. Absolutely.
In other words, all that preparation you have done is where all the thinking is done.
Absolutely.
All the thinking is done in the preparation.
Absolutely.
Film study, analytics, practice, right? Going to practice, right? Interviews. That's where all the thinking is done. When the light goes on, you go.
Absolutely.
Right? Now let's flip it the other side. You get praised. You're the greatest, the best, right? That is incredible to hear. that people like the job that you do. But at that point, say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And how much it means a lot to you, and you appreciate
they're
it.
taking the time out of their day for
right?
it. Yeah,
and then
no doubt.
keep going.
Yeah.
Don't go on the air again. It's back to thinking, I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
exactly.
good. No, your job is to do the job.
Certainly.
Right? You've got to be, you've got to do the job,
Yep.
be a pro, and take pride in being a pro. Take pride in doing the job.
Yeah.
Right? And if you get recognized for it, that's wonderful. But your job is, I always have a saying personally, hey, I want to do a great job today. I want the next game to be even better. And I don't care what the game is.
Yeah.
I don't care if Penn State is playing Marshall in the football opener
Mm-hmm.
or they're playing USC. The preparation is exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't care if Penn State is playing number 1 ranked Michigan in basketball or UNC Central. Okay? I'm expected to be good on both. I am expected to be good on both games.
Both games. Yep.
And I put exactly
Absolutely.
the same preparation into a UNC Central game that I do for a Michigan basketball game.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's a game. You're on the air for 3 hours. It's up to you to make it work.
Yeah. That was.
And that's how you have to approach it. But you don't pay attention to social media because all it does is it brings
Makes you think.
It makes you think. Now people are begging me to think more, but that's a different story. So back to Gavin McKenna, he only scored 2 goals. Right. Here are 3 words for you. Know the game.
Absolutely. Know the game, know what helps. And that's the other part of it we talked about with the Hall of Fame voting, where so many people, unfortunately, do their job based on feelings. You cannot do that. And that's it. When you're a member of the media, you have got to be unbiased. And that's where, trust me, it's very difficult for a lot of people. I can clearly see it without question. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing for me when I'm looking at it. That I think is tied to McKenna too. Mm-hmm. There's no question people cover him now based on feelings, and that's not the way to do it. That's unfortunately I think the way a lot of people think.
He came in with tremendous hype,
no doubt.
Now he's who's tied for the conference lead in points right now?
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
In the last couple of games he's played have been incredible.
Right. And
that was even prior to the 10 points.
And at the same time, you have to be smart about what not to comment on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have said nothing about the alleged incident that took place.
Yeah.
Because we weren't there and we don't know.
We weren't there and we don't know it.
And it's now a news story. It's not a sports story.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we just talk about he's playing, so we talk about him as a player.
Yeah.
By the way, Tessa Janicki is now back on campus. Yeah. The first ever Winter Olympics gold medalist from Penn State.
Yeah.
The first ever. Her and her teammates were invited to the State of the Union tonight, but they already were in the process of spreading out at that point because it's like they turned it down. Well, they turned it down, but with reasons. I think if the timing were better,
I agree.
Right, because the professional league starts playing on Thursday, and they came back and were already doing connecting flights to get themselves to their various spots, including Tessa coming back here to campus.
Yeah.
So that's why they won't be there tonight. The men have a little more leeway. They were able to come back. First of all, the women came back on a commercial flight. But I think that was the reason for that was because they finished sooner.
Yeah.
The men came back on a charter flight. But again, the charter flight, I mean, it is the NHL. So it's like they charter everywhere. And their charter was supposed to go into JFK yesterday. And, of course, that was a no-go. So they went to Miami instead. But evidently most of them will be there tonight. for that. So that's. But Tessa, Jeff Campersall has talked to me, and have you ever met her?
Tessa, yes.
Yeah.
Campersall, no.
Oh, you've never met Campersall?
Never have.
You've never met?
Never met Jeff.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Tessa's a fabulous.
Fab. Yep.
Right.
Agreed.
Just a really super nice, and what a talent. Oh, my goodness. You watch her play. What
Absolutely.
a talent. You talk about earning your spot in the Olympic team. And
it was on the ice, too, on the biggest plays.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
I mean, no. The game-tying goal.
Yeah.
She's on. She actually starts the play.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, if there's a third assist handed out, she gets
it
on that play. And, of course, you got to stand next to Hillary Knight based on number because Tessa was 22 and Hillary Knight's 21. But she's back on campus, and they're getting ready for what's next. And Penn State this year is hosting the Women's Frozen Four.
Frozen Four, yeah.
Now,
21st.
Now, here's a good one for you. 2004 Women's Frozen Four. Play-by-play announcer, Kenny Albert.
Really?
Analyst, Eileen Hughes. Quinn and Jack's mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
How
about that?
That's
How about
awesome.
that little piece?
Yeah.
How about that little piece?
That's awesome.
That's just.
That is absolutely awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And O'Brien's work with. Schofield.
Yeah, does an outstanding job.
Yeah, she's great. And Brian's worked with her.
Yep.
And then Roger was the engineer for it when they had the Women's Frozen Four here in 2022. But they have it back here. And Penn State is a legitimate contender to play on home ice.
Absolutely.
They are a legitimate contender to get to their own arena. Jeff Campersall has won over 500 games now in his career. He is a phenomenal coach and is a terrific person. I brought up his name when we had Guy Godowski on the coaches show before the Beaver Stadium game because they wanted to promote the Beaver Stadium game, so they had Guy on the show. And at one point, Jeff had just won his 500th. Guy, by the way, has now won 250 at Penn State. How about that?
Already.
Yeah.
That's
amazing. Yeah. Hey, just like Mark Pavlik just won his 700th at Penn State men's volleyball. So we came out of a break. I said, hey, before we continue, I said, Guy, you and I have to talk for a moment and recognize Jeff Campersall for winning his 500. Because remember, the two of them were together at Princeton. And Guy could not say enough about Jeff.
Nice.
Conversely, when I have brought up Guy to Jeff, he can't say enough about Guy. It's really special. All right. I know that we'll leave here, and I can't say enough about you. And I know when we leave here, there'll be knives in my back from you. We know how you operate. Everybody knows. Where was that sweatshirt made?
This is a Nike one. This is not in the USA. I can tell you that.
I just thought I'd ask. Do you wear anything made in America?
Probably not. Any brand name isn't made in America hardly anymore.
And you are their poster child. You're one of my favorite people on the planet. We have such a good time. We have such a good time together. All right. Okay. Nobody from management has come up to us today, so we'll be back tomorrow.